And we are live. What's going on, everybody? It is the 10th of October, 2016. That's 10/10/16. And this is episode 154 of the Secrets Beverage Lab podcast. I am your host, Brian. And, man, talk about something we forgot to talk about 2 weeks ago. The Great American Beer Festival was this past weekend. And there is a large piece of news coming out of that one that we're going to get to toot sweet. But first, I want to crack into this one. New can sound effect. It's the Amherst Brewing Company Oktoberfest from Amherst, Massachusetts, and it's my last can. I'm sad, and then the rest of the beer in my fridge is my wife's. So now it's time for me to go shopping tomorrow. So I can't wait. But yes, beer's good. Shout out to ABC for making such great beer. Welcome, BM Watts. What's up?
What's up, everybody? BM Watts here, at BM Watts on Twitter. My name is actually Ben. It's not BM Watts.
BM.
But also follow me on Snapchat at Stepping Razors, putting some stuff up there. I am drinking in a Smelly Nose glass vodka soda. Gin and soda. Gin and soda, rather.
Gin and soda, nice.
I had a bad beer day yesterday, and it kind of bummed me out a lot.
Oh man, are you able to talk about it later?
We'll talk about it later in the show. So I'm putting beer on halt for a couple days. Hopefully, hopefully can bounce back from that.
Yeah, if it's that bad to make it quit beer, I need to hear about this.
Yeah.
Carla, what's up?
Carla, I go online as Beer Babe. I'm actually drinking. I had a bad beer moment before we got on the podcast, so I opened something bad, and now I'm switching to something good, which is a Dogfish Head Namaste.
Yes.
So this was, and I'm drinking that out of my brand new Rising Tide 6th anniversary glass.
Whoa.
How cool is that?
Cool.
So I went to their 6th anniversary party. I think it was last weekend, and had a great time. So
yeah,
I like that glass shape a lot.
Yeah. How is so?
You like what?
Shape of that glass.
Yeah.
I feel like I need more, like, Pilsner-y kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shape.
Although it fit a full. I mean, it's deceptively small. I didn't think I was going to get the full beer in here, but apparently it's a glass that can hold a full.
I think Throwback has a similar glass down here. If I remember what their glassware looks like. I dig it. So let's just get right to it. How was that? Because I made a trip to Maine that I can talk about later. But how was the 6th anniversary? Geez, 6 years.
I know. So I don't know if I mentioned this last time, but every time I think of Rising Tide, I just think that they're like 2 years old, and they're totally not 2 years old. They're 6 years old. They're awesome. They were really leaders in bringing craft beer in Maine and everything. And so whenever they have an anniversary party, I always try to go. I haven't gone to the last couple just because of conflict stuff, whatever. And this was fun. They set up a tent outside. They had food trucks, and basically the ticket paid for basically 2 things of food and 2 samples of beer, and then anything else after that you paid for, which is cool. And they had a bunch of bands lined up, but they started with a brewery-based band, so people who worked at the brewery. And their bassist/singer dropped out like last minute, like 48 hours before. So they instead rotated through people singing, and I actually got to guest sing a song for them. So that was really fun. There's a couple of pictures of me, but thankfully there's no video, so there's no audio as far as I know.
What did you sing?
I sang "Inside Out" by Eve Six.
Of course you did. Yep. Eve 6-year anniversary.
Right. They had a list of songs that they needed singers for, and I was like, that's the only one that I can get at all. I did have fun, but it was a good day. They had plenty of places to sit. Ran into a bunch of people I haven't seen in a while. Ran into Don Tully. Ran into Ruth from Vermont. She did stuff at the Beer Mavens. Just basically all of your Portland beer people, that I hadn't seen in a while, all showed up and hung out. It was really great. A community party. It was really very cool.
Awesome. I was there the day before. It was 2 weekends ago when I was with Mike. I say ex-host, but past host of the show, Mike Meredith, for his bachelor party, and we went on the main brew bus. And we went to Rising Tide, Oxbow. we were going to go to Foundation, but they had closed because the next day it was that day they were opening the grand opening, so they weren't allowing tour buses there. So we went to DL Geary's, which I've never been to, which I really enjoyed. I mean, I love the HSA, the Hampshire Special Ale. So to be able to be at the place that brews it out, I was not upset. We'll just say that. But yeah, we did go to Rising Tide as they were still setting up for the day after's festivities, and I was mad because I should have picked up their Oktoberfest, but their Oktoberfest was really good, and I was glad they had cans of it.
Yeah, that was quite good. That was one of the ones I enjoyed while I was there.
Yeah, and again, shout out to Maine Brew Bus. It wasn't a special tour or anything. It was just a tour that we went on, and they give you a full as part of the ticket. They have a full lunch at Sebago, which was awesome. And we were with another bachelor party, they were way more mature than we were. So as we were getting the tickets, I see these bros come in, and some guy with like a rice hat on, and I'm like, they can't be with us. They can't be with us. And sure enough, they were on the bus with us. Completely. I mean, they were all right. And but as the hours of this 5-hour tour go on, their maturity declined rapidly. But it was still fun. Great times. And then, as usual, you stop at Slab for too much pizza than you really think you should order. But your brain thinks your stomach can handle it. But when the pizza comes, a Slab slice is just what you need, but not anymore.
Yeah.
And then we spent probably over the course of the weekend, we probably spent 6 hours in Arcadia, which was the best. because Arcadia, I think we spent an hour and a half and then like 4 hours on Saturday night. We definitely played every single game, and we even ran into Carla and Active Beer Geek on Saturday. Before going to what I'll just say is probably one of the most interesting places I've ever been in Portland, Maine, and that is, Carla, what's the name of that place that I went to after seeing you shoot?
Oh, the club place?
Bubba's.
Soaky Lounge.
Good Lord. That is something else. And Ben, when we go up to Portland, that's where we're going. It was.
What were you drinking at Bubba's?
Oh, Molson's. Yes, because Molson. Or Michelob's. Yeah, probably Michelob Ultras. But yeah, it's an interesting place, and it's tough to tell because there were so many weird decorations there. I was trying to figure out if they were decorated for Halloween or if that's how they are all the time. Carla?
Time.
Oh my God, it's so weird there. But yeah, there was dancing and stuff as one does, but the weird mannequins and the lunch boxes and the cobwebs on the walls that was like a good end to Portland. And then I ran home. I'm like, let's get the hell out of here. But then I went to Boston. No beer related stuff there, but I will give a shout out to a restaurant called Myers and Chang, which is a Chinese restaurant in the Back Bay. Oh my word. If you guys ever find yourself in the Back Bay, I believe it's Washington Street. It's the best Chinese food I've ever had in Boston. I'll definitely say that. And there's plenty of places that do Chinese food. So Myers and Chang, check it. Other than that, nothing on the beer front here. I see someone else coming in the show, but we'll get to. Can you hear us, Sean?
Oh yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Let's go. What's going on, Sean Jansen?
Can you see me?
Negative. I can see your sweet icon now.
Yeah, it's very weird. Yeah. Hey, how's it going? Currently, if you could see it, I'm enjoying a Bee Hoppy from Wormtown.
Nice.
Nice.
IPA coming in at 6.5% ABV.
Nice.
This is a perfect opportunity to be like, I'm drinking this 2010 Cantillon.
Right, you could have described any beer, and we would have believed you, and so would the listeners.
Guys, it's so good. This 2001 Goose Island. Yeah, I'm drinking 7 Dark Lords in a liter boot. But I want to get to BM or Ben Watts. Real quick before we talk about this GABF news, what was your bad beer experience? Because this is important.
I don't know if it's that important, but I'm sure that all of us have experienced that moment of, I love supporting local breweries and stuff, and I understand that there's a premium that you have to pay for smaller breweries. But every time that I buy beer from a local brewery and the cost is hard to swallow sometimes, I guess is like a hard an easy way to put it. And then you get home and you drink that beer, and it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
And when that happens 2 times out of a 4-pack, and you're just like watching, like just pouring it down the drain. I'm trying to finish this, and it's just like not even happening.
Yeah.
That's just not the kind of thing that I want to experience after spending, excess of $15 on 4 beers. I'm trying to be as vague as possible.
No, it's fine. So I'll cut in then and ease your vagueness. But it brings up a good point, and we rarely diss or talk bad about breweries, but I think, and I've written this a lot, but I don't know if I practice what I preach to some extent. Would you tell them if you tasted something off, or do you just not?
In this case, this isn't me saying. I wouldn't ever say A, that the brewery is bad, B, that the beer is bad, like that the brewery is shitty and they don't know what they're doing. None of that. It didn't have anything to do with an off flavor or anything like that. It was
Okay.
This one is just not for me.
Right. And also it price does come into question too when you're spending, like you said, excess of that much for the beer. But interesting.
It's just it's not like I won't ever go back. I won't ever not support them again. It's just at this moment in time, it's just maybe I need to let.
But I mean, fundamentally, it's just a letdown because, right? You're excited and you're trying to support your local guy, and you're like, oh, cool, great, I'm gonna have this, I'm gonna try it, and then you get it home and you're like, oh,
right, exactly.
It sucks. It's you don't want to be bummed out by what you're trying to do.
So Ben, did you have this beer before? Was this the first time you had this beer from said brewery?
Yes, first time from this brewery.
Had you heard any hype around the beer, or just had it on a whim?
Nope, just got it on a whim.
Yeah.
Would you have it at whim or at your house? Kidding.
This is whim.
That's not whim. Yeah.
So I've had similar experiences where that you go pick something up, you look at the price tag and you kind of say, okay, this one's $10, this big beer is $15, this one's $20. The $20 beer must be double as much better than the $10 beer, right?
Sure.
That's just how it goes.
And it's not. Again, this comes down to not a case of the brewery doing something wrong. I could have bought a 6-pack of Harpoon IPA for all that matters. It just like this particular time, it just didn't. Not that it didn't hit home, that it was just very, very far off from what my palate
expectations were. Yes.
My expectations were, yeah, especially having had such great experiences with stuff that they've done before.
Yeah, and so maybe it's like not a reality check for you, but more of like a check that if you just wanted a beer to not, you don't want to put so much faith into one brewery, you can just go to the grocery store for your old standby beers, right? You don't have to, because sometimes I'll buy beers that I'm like, okay, I want to be in the right mood for this beer, but it's not like a beer that I just want to kind of open willy-nilly. And then I'll open it and I'm like, maybe it's not the right time for it. Maybe it's just, I'm not feeling it, but it'd be nice to have like a 6-pack of like Harpoon IPAs. Just
your
just
go-to.
waiting. Yeah, like any sort of notch beer in my fridge.
Okay, so let's talk about our fridges here for a minute. So you guys don't do that? Like I have like day-to-day beer, and then I have all this shit that I randomly open. Sorry. I have all this stuff that I randomly open when I feel like, ooh, let's have the barley wine tonight. And then if I don't like it, I go, okay, hand me one of those X drinking beers.
Yeah, I've been on a kick. I'm usually on a kick where I'll mix a 6-pack or something where that means I have one of that particular beer.
Right.
But since the Oktoberfest season has started, I usually keep at least more than one of each kind of Marzen. Like I'll have a couple of Moat Mountains in there, and I'll have those ready that I know I'll like anyway. But I should. And I'll have the opportunity very soon to start keeping more beer in the fridge, so I will do so and probably follow that more often. But yeah, there's a lot of pressure around the beer you keep at home, that's for sure. And I know Ben, you're usually good at keeping some solid beers at the ready too. So just one of those times where it's like you wasted all your money on on 4 beers. We get about like 4 6-packs.
Right, exactly. Yeah, that's like you're talking about, the grocery store offering.
Yeah.
Like let's just and I'm not comparing apples to apples again, but like if you look at Jack's Abbey, you're getting 6 16-ounce cans for less than $9, and that is a top, in my opinion, a top shelf beer.
It's the best.
Yeah,
those 6 house lagers for $10 is like should be in your fridge at all times.
right. And then to have a bad experience with a can or a bottle that costs 4 times as much as a single. One of those, it's just, this shit's going to happen. We're living in an era where everybody in the world is seeming to open up a brew pub, whether or not they have experience or not. So
yeah,
that's the biggest challenge though, because there's 2 parts of it. One, if you're, I don't think you mentioned it, but if the beer had a natural flaw to it, whether or not it just didn't taste right because of a brewing flaw that you paid for it. But the other part is that there could be another beer from a totally different brewery that you say like, oh, am I really going to pay that much for that now? Because I'm now comparing price points of what I got this other beer, and you take that risk of jumping into it without having sort of the guarantee it's going to be what you like.
Right. Yeah. And it was also a saison. It was two saisons, 2 different saisons, and that's my favorite style.
Oh yeah, double bench.
So kind of like
Right. That is harder, right?
it's a hard battle to fight to win with me. You know what I mean?
Well, I'll transition out by saying if you want a good saison that is, I don't know of any of the breweries around us doing a saison besides the one I'm about to say, but Liar's Bench has 2 on right now. Liar's Bench in Portsmouth, they have a tart saison and a regular saison. Solid. I was there on Thursday and they were real good.
I haven't had any other stuff. I gotta get down there.
It's real good. And in fact, when I was there, they had 6 taps of all different styles from porter. They had like a smoky Rausch beer that was like smoke, and the brewer's like, yeah, we went a little light on the smoke. I'm like, what are you talking about? This is like awesome. It was great.
Yeah, it was only like a 3 alarm fire, not a 5.
Yeah. And my friend who had never had a Rausch beer before, his version of a Rausch beer is a good one. He loves Burn the Ships from Abel Ebenezer's, which is a good one, but this one had a little bit more smoke than that. But he's like, yeah, this is real good. But yeah, so and it's tough, and I kind of feel the same way Ben does at some bars I visit sometimes, where I visit the bar and I sit down, and I'm just there for a beer, and I don't see what I want on the tap list, but I don't want to get up and be like, no, I'm all set. Like, but maybe I should. Like, I'll ask Carla, because you seem like you have the most morals of us 3. If you sat down at a bar and you haven't paid anything yet, you said hello, you're looking at the beer list. If you didn't see a beer that you liked, would you get up and leave, or would you buy one? And I mean, so
if it's in a place like Portland where there's like 5 bars every 5 feet.
Right. So, but I'm saying
I don't mind doing that.
Okay.
I don't mind going, oh man, I was really hoping for an IPA. You got no IPAs on right now.
Yeah. And I'm not saying like a random place.
Flavor
Yeah.
I'm into right now. Thankfully, I don't run into this problem that much.
Right.
But also, there's also times when I'm going to a place for dinner and they have 4 tap selections. They all kind of suck. I will then order something anyway. I do the kind of like, and I'm not that much of a snob that I'm like, oh, harpoon, like I don't care. But if I'm going to a beer bar for the purpose of drinking beer and I was in the mood for something specific, they don't have anything that could possibly fit that mood. I would be okay with walking away with that. In that situation though, because people are so good about keeping, a broad tap list. But I almost did the other day. I was actually at a Portland place that I hadn't been in a while. And I can name this one because it's not really their fault. But so I went to Nosh, as like these good burgers and pub food, and used to be the place like everybody would do their parties for breweries and stuff. So it had been forever. I went there and I walked in, and really their tap list not local. They had a lot of craft, but it was Sierra Nevada, it was Lagunitas, it was, stuff from all over. For was, to see what was on locally that they might have different than the other bars. So I think I went with a bunch of friends. I think we all ordered one, drank them, and then left because we were like, this isn't really what we wanted.
Yeah. Yeah, and
if it had been me by myself and on that tap list, I probably would have just bailed.
yeah. Speaking of Nosh, though, as of tonight at Nosh, they have.
It wasn't what I was into. I was really surprised.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And Sean, why don't you tell that story? That was funny.
Nosh must have been hosting a West Coast beer night.
Well, it's funny because they have
that one or the other one.
They have New England Gangsta on right now. Probably Earth Eagle.
Well, Carla, just talk about a place of going into. Remember, we went into the place in Portland together. I think Brian, you were there too, where they do the stock market exchange, and the beers are priced based on.
The frequency that they're ordered or
exactly. And so, that wasn't the greatest beer list, but we did find something to. I love that.
Oh boy.
We did find something that we like to drink, but we weren't going to hang out there too long, just basically because of the list, anyways.
Yeah. Well, Ben, I look for a full report next week to see if you bounce back. Come back to us.
I think you meant, I'm going to write a smattering expose in the Portsmouth Herald.
Speaking of which, grab the Herald this Thursday for a guest post by BM Watts.
Whoa.
Yep. Because when Brian goes on a bachelor party, he needs someone to write for him. So let's get to the news real quick. It's unfortunately short, but there is one good juicy piece of gossip that I want to get to, and it's about the Great American Beer Festival, which we didn't even mention 2 weeks ago. We could have, but it's every October, and boy, is there something that there's worth talking about this time around. And then, so we'll talk about this piece of news, and then we'll talk about each state's awards. They broke it out by who won most and all that, and then we can talk about our individual states, if any of us have any, or lack thereof. But again, there was a kind of a flaw in the results of the awards that, for the first time, the GABF had to make an amendment to the rules. And I'll just read this straight up because it's kind of wordy, and it's easier just to hear it. But during the competition registration, Karl Strauss Brewing Company self-identified their San Diego location as a mid-sized brew pub. After the award ceremony, the GABF competition staff realized that this was inaccurate. This location is, in fact, a mid-sized brewing company. Karl Strauss, while it operates brew pubs, is classified as a production facility by the GABF guidelines. After reassigning Karl Strauss to mid-sized brewing company and recalculating the Brewery of the Year results, it resulted that Karl Strauss was the winner of the mid-sized brewing company of the year category, giving Boxer Bear Brewing Company the winner of the mid-sized brew pub. Unfortunately for the brewery, Fatheads Brewery and Saloon, that knocked them out of the of winning the mid-sized brewing company of the year, which kind of lame for. What's that?
Didn't they just give them also?
Yeah, I wonder what the results were.
We screwed up, you were medal away. Although, when Steve Harvey did the wrong Miss America or whatever, he did have to take tiara off of one and put it on the other. Yeah,
so this is the B era of this one. But
it could also be how many votes they were apart too.
Yeah, no. So it didn't get into the numbers of all that, but it is interesting that it's like they announced all these things, and I bet you they were psyched. But I that must have at least knocked them down to number 2. So I guess the real loser is whoever got number 3 first, which I guess we won't know. Whoever was third place doesn't get a medal anymore. But yeah, so that's kind of crazy. I mean, obviously that makes sense, but I don't know where the error lies in that they didn't check during the registration first, or that they didn't realize it until the end. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I can see why that would be confusing because because there's a lot of categories. It sounds like, mid-sized, large, like brewery brewery, I can see where that confusion would happen.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that that's necessarily their fault, and I can see how they might not notice that.
Right.
Is this based on just the number of medals that they win?
It's it says after adding all the scoring, so it could have been medals. If that's the only thing that you're voting on is medal count, then it did say Fatheads was one of the top award winning breweries.
So it mentions in the next article down when we get there.
Yep, we're there.
That Karl Strauss had 2 golds and a bronze, where Fatheads had 1 gold, 1 silver, 1 bronze.
Okay. Yep. Yeah. So let's hop over to that too, because it went into more of the stat heavy stuff, and there were a total of 7,200 entries, which is 9% more than last year, and with a total of 1,752 breweries from all the 50 states plus DC.
Do you see this crazy stat that the number of IPA submissions is less this year than it was last year? That just seems bananas to me.
Are people scared to enter now?
I don't know. Maybe it's just that saturated that it's like, why bother?
Yeah.
Well, you could only enter so many beers, and you have to pay for each one of them.
Yeah.
So if you're realizing that you're paying and maybe because of the way you've been judged in previous years, you're not going to be in the top 10 selection, then
Yeah.
it's probably not.
That'd be a tough judging to do that category.
Well, there's 312, right?
Right.
312 versus 336 last year.
Yeah.
Still a
So-
lot of entries.
Most medals won was by Uber Brew out of Billings, Montana, with 4 medals: 2 gold, 1 silver, 1 bronze, and as Sean mentioned, the other 2. But it goes on. It says the top 3 states by ratio of medals to entries is Wyoming with 55 entries and 45 entries and 5 medals.
It's crazy.
Hawaii,
Nice.
oh yeah, Hawaii 28 entries, which is a lot. It seems like a lot.
Because
And 3 medals.
you're just thinking of
Winner.
Yeah.
there's only
probably
2
more
miles
now,
of land for us
There
to
were
own.
like 2.
Yeah, per capita, that's a lot of liquid. And then Virginia was 7% of their entries getting medals, so 200 entries and 14 medals. First time, there were 464 first-time entries, and out of those, 41 medals were won.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so like going for it.
That's good.
It
That's
just
good.
goes to show that you don't like. I just looked up. I was going to make a joke about why bother submitting an IPA because like so and so is going to win. I don't recognize gold, silver, or bronze brewed in that category.
And then the top 5 entries were just from top to bottom: American Style IPA, Imperial IPA, American Strong Pale Ale, Coffee Beer, and Wood and Barrel Aged Strong Beer were the top category entries. And then that list goes on, and it's good to check out like the top winners here. But what I kind of want to get to is our individual states, and I'll start, and then if you guys want to pick your states, I know Ben and Carl are gonna have a tough time picking.
I'll go home state.
Who's going to say what? Oh, go home state. Good stuff. So I'll start off with New Hampshire, and I don't know if there's a place where you can find who entered, because that'd be a nice stat to see. I don't know if Sean might know anything of that nature, but out of whoever entered from New Hampshire, there was one winner, and it was a solid gold, and it was Elm City Brewing Company won gold in the Abbey Double, or for their Abbey Double, in the Belgian style double or quad category. So Elm City is out of Keene, New Hampshire. So give it up.
That's crazy.
Yes, it is huge, and I
And
now
this is not their first winning either. They've won medals in past years.
have they won it for their Kolsch or anything? Like, because that's a solid beer too. Keene Kolsch is good stuff.
The Peachy Keen.
Peach Keene, baby. But yeah, Sean, let's go to Keene right now and try that double, because now it's going to happen is they're going to keep brewing that. Because
I was there this morning. I should have had it while I was there.
I mean, and that's what happens. Like at Seventh Settlement, they just that brown is like the beer people show up for is that beer. But
Right.
yeah, so congratulations to Elm City Brewing out of Keene that took gold, and that's pretty awesome. And yeah, and only brewery from New Hampshire to win doesn't mean they're the only ones that entered, and doesn't mean that they're the best beer. It's just they won. Let's go to Massachusetts with Shano. What do you got from your home state? Breh?
So there's currently 2 winners, and the first one is a gold medal for Aeronaut Brewing Company out of Somerville for a beer called Robot Crush, which is the American style or international style of Pilsner. The second winner was a brewery that's been around for 25 years, like maybe last year, the year before. Wachusett Brewing Company out of Westminster, Mass. Won a silver for Black Shack Porter.
Nice. Have you had that before?
I have. I think it comes in their variety pack.
Oh, nice. I got to check it out
And
because
it's in the brown porter category.
good for them. I know. Yeah, that's awesome. Let's go to Ben from Connecticut.
We had 2 also. One that we're all familiar with, Two Roads. Won gold for Belgian-style lambic or sour ale. They're hexotic. And then one that I'm not familiar with, Back East Brewing in Bloomfield, Connecticut. Won bronze for brown porter.
Nice. Where's Bloomfield in relation to
The
somewhere-
world.
Yeah, somewhere else.
Oh, it's about 3,000 miles east of Los Angeles.
So how about Hartford?
Oh, it's near Hartford.
Okay, that's not bad.
Everything in Connecticut is near Hartford.
I don't even know. Yeah, I mean, I have such a tough time with Connecticut. Like Connecticut is like a mini Maine. It's like I know where 2 places are, and then the rest is just.
It's actually slightly northwest of Hartford. It's
Okay.
actually the town's touch.
Ooh,
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's near Hartford.
nice, sweet. That's what I was about to say. Cool. And Carla, what's going on in Maine?
So we had 1 winner in Maine this year. It was a gold medal for Allagash, and it was for Allagash Triple, which is kind of one that doesn't really make headlines for us around here. We're always talking about the cool ships, and then white is the flagship.
And they put it in the vault for a while, right? They brought it back out more so recently.
Just like Aladdin.
Because last year Allagash Triple won a silver. So this
nice.
year it won a gold, which is pretty cool. So it's kind of funny. You could sort this by all years for the state. So the last basically years, we had Allagash Triple this year, Allagash Triple, and Allagash White and Baxter Window Seat last year all won medals. For that, it's like Allagash, all the way back. This award that we won.
Did they have this?
Dog Oktoberfest won in 1994, and Casco Bay Riptide Red 2004.
Nice.
But everything else is Allagash. This whole list, so it's kind of awesome. Obviously, they're entering all the time. They make some fantastic beer, but it's pretty cool.
That is a very cool tool. Like this website. I don't know if they had this last year, but it's to see all years for a certain state.
Yeah, all years is pretty neat.
Connecticut has never won before.
Until this year?
What, never won before?
Considering that, like, outside of Nebco, geez, I can't even think of another one that was there like more than 3 or 4 years ago.
Wow, Connecticut, go for it.
No, I get Connecticut has. They've won. The last time they won was 2009.
All right, yeah, they won some.
I didn't go back that far.
Oh yeah,
I would-
there's an all breweries thing at the very top, or an all years thing at the very top. And Nebco did win in '93
Oh, Jesus Christ.
back then. Yeah, and there's some cool names and some old names that you see in like New Hampshire of.
Yeah, there's a couple of breweries that are like, they don't exist anymore. It's like, I just did New Hampshire's, and there's like a whole chunk where these medals were won by people that I'm like, what brewery is that?
Yep, that's awesome.
I did not know Nebco was around that long.
Castle
I know,
Springs
yeah.
Brewing in
It's in Brian's book for New Hampshire beer.
Oh, sorry, if you read closer.
It's barely mentioned.
99, 2000, and 2001, multiple times each year. So they were kicking butt until whatever happened to them.
Yeah. So yeah, I would say the link is in the show notes if you want to find out your home state or more information on the past years. 'Cause this is a pretty good
So
tool.
no one was from Vermont this year.
Oh yeah, that's none
And
from
no
Vermont.
one, none from Rhode Island either.
There needs to be a way that we can see who submitted. But I guess is that some sort of secret? I don't know. But it'd just be nice to know. Just like
see the list somewhere of how many category people were per category too. I don't know if that's linked to on this page anywhere, but like the whole there were 300 and whatever IPAs, and I want to see how many pumpkin beers were on.
oh, for sure, yeah. I mean, well, let's see who won pumpkin beer. Was it? Is it still? It's vegetable, right?
Fruit beer. Technically it falls under fruit beer.
Oh no, it's a category 6 pumpkin squash beer. There were 10 entries,
Sorry.
and so it just lists bronze though. They only gave a bronze to that category. Can you do that?
Were they all that terrible?
It
That's
says
hilarious.
Category 6 only has a bronze.
I see that. They were all terrible.
It's like, yeah, I'm so sorry.
Oh my god, the name of the beer.
You're the best
Oh
one,
god.
but we can only give you a bronze. It's so.
The beer name?
Oh boy, Carla, go for it. Say it. You're the one who said it, or you're the one who saw it first.
To be pronounced butternut, but it's BUTT-AH space NUT, but nut.
We have to give a medal. Here's this.
The
That's what I got
worst
bronze.
name that I don't ever want to order at a bar.
Well, you see that there's 2 pumpkin categories.
I did not.
do this year. I think.
There's pumpkin spice and
Oh,
pumpkin
God.
squash.
Pumpkin spice has got to stop.
Oh,
So there are 3 winners
okay.
for
Pumpkin spice.
pumpkin spice.
Oh yes. Okay.
Yeah, we got
so
pump-
three
Pump
Starbucks
action.
winners.
Yeah.
And that is Virginia. I'm sorry, let me do this in bad order. Five Phantoms Pumpkin Spice Barley Wine from Pittsburgh, Montana. Bronze. Twisted Gourd from Charlottesville, Virginia won silver. And then Pump Action Imperial Pumpkin Ale from Four Noses in Bloomfield, Colorado. Won gold.
Cool.
None of these I have ever heard before.
Babe. Now, well, it's pumpkin spice, so I would say go find it, but don't, because it's pumpkin spice.
Now,
God, I didn't know.
did you guys read on the last article the GABF festival statistics?
No. Sean, hit us with them.
So this was the 35th anniversary of the festival and the 30th edition of the beer GABF competition. In 2016, there were 780 breweries pouring, 3,800 plus beers served at the festival, and across 4 days, you want to take a guess on the number of attendees?
Can you tell us what last year's were?
I can't.
Thousands, but
I can't because I don't know it.
Okay, that's fine. I don't even know what to guess. 5,000. No, it's way too small.
10,000.
Yeah, 10,000.
No, that the ACBF does 15 in 2 days.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay, fine.
What do you put it like that?
20,000. I don't know.
60,000 attendees
Over 3 days?
Oh my god.
over 4. So it's like
60,000.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Cool. That's a
Um,
lot of.
Wow.
That's a lot of people.
That for the festival and the
crazy.
competition combined, there were 3,600 volunteers. You mentioned 1,752 breweries in the competition, 254 medal-winning breweries, 286 total medals awarded. Number of judges, not including the Pro-Am, 7,227. 96 styles judged. 200. That's 7,227 beers being judged, and it was 264 judges from 12 countries.
Nice
Wow.
stuff. Yeah, so, and you went last year, Sean?
I've never been. I'd
Why
go.
not? Where'd you go last year? Oh, the Craft Brewers Conference,
Correct.
the CBC.
Yeah.
It sucks because I want to go, but then I see the pictures. And I'm like, man, that looks crowded. And I it's not that I don't do well in crowds, but I might not do well in that kind of crowd. It just seems like it's too much. Also, a lot of beer. So I like the more intimate.
I already get tired of it. ACBF is too many people for me, so that's already 15,000.
True.
I'm cool. Like,
Yeah.
no, I'm good.
Well, if those fests are too big for you, there are festivals coming up this weekend that you might be able to get to if you are in the area. This weekend, there are 2 in Portsmouth that are in the Portsmouth area that are worthy of going to. this Saturday is one of my favorite beer fests of the year is the New Hampshire Brew Fest or the NH Brew Fest in Red Hook or at Red Hook. So, Sean, you going to that?
Not sure.
All right, cool. TBD. But yeah, no, it's my favorite. I haven't even looked at the beer list. I'm not going, but I haven't looked at the beer list. But you can imagine it's going to be good, and the weather looks like it should be holding out. It's a great festival. Get there. It's 2 sessions. The VIP is always worthy of going, or always worth going to the VIP session of that. I believe it's $50, which is still a pretty solid deal.
It is a fundraiser for the MBAA, which is the Master Brewers Association of America.
Nice.
The New England chapter. So you will see some breweries and beers that typically aren't available in the state, along with a special collaboration between a local Portsmouth area brewery along with a Massachusetts brewery collaboration.
Yes, because Friday. Well, can I just say it, or you're not doing? Are we not?
Oh, you can.
Yeah, because Friday there's a block party in Portsmouth for the release of the collaborations between Jack's Abbey and Stoneface. Is that what you're going to say? Yeah, so they're if you check out either of their Facebook pages, I think they're doing a little bar crawl on Friday to celebrate their collaborations that they've done.
The beer is called Friend Request, and Stoneface did it's very very kind of funny social media name, Friend Request, but
yeah.
The Stoneface version is a saison, which is right in BM Watts' wheelhouse. And the Jack's Abbey version is a beer to guard, which they're both basically the same style with just using a lager versus an ale yeast.
Nice. Maybe this could be the saison to bring Ben back in the beer, which fingers crossed. We need him. He says, hold on, no hope for this.
Exactly.
Say, screw that. So that's happening on Saturday. The ticket, I'll put the ticket link into the show notes because I think it's nhbeer.com, or is it Brew NH Brew? It's something like that. I'll put it in the thing. But yeah, check it out. And then on Sunday is the Smutty Nose Oktoberfest, the 2nd annual, and this is a fantastic festival. And I hope the praise that Norm and I gave it last year still holds true for this year because it was such a great festival. I know I'm going. Are you going? Nice. Well, I will see you there. Sean, you going?
Yes.
I was going to say, if you say I don't know, you're man of mystery over there. But yes, the Smutty Nose Oktoberfest was really good last year. It's supposedly supposed to be really good this year. It is from 1 to 5, I believe, at Hayseed / where Smutty Nose is. And we're talking 2 big bands, a ton of beer. You pay per beer, but I believe the entry gets you 1 free beer, if I'm not mistaken. So it's worth it. I don't know if they're going to give things away like they did last year, because last year was just a special year for it being first. So just be on the lookout for some cool swag, some cool stuff to buy. And if you haven't even been to – have you been to Smutty Nose yet, Carla?
Oh, yeah, I did. Okay. I went last summer sometime.
Yep.
But I haven't been back since. So, I'd love to check that out. But no, I was really happy to see it was on Sunday. I had something going on Saturday, and I knew it was this upcoming weekend. And I was like, oh, man, I can't go. And then I was like, I think to do it Sunday. Yay. So I will be there.
Sweet.
Maybe I will wear my little Sam Athens Oktoberfest hat that I have somewhere.
Yeah, and I'll for sure be there.
It used to be within arm's reach.
It's right here. It's on my wall. And then after that, we'll talk about it next week too, and a couple weeks leading up to maybe have a special show on it. But Mass Beer Week is November 4th to the 13th. So that's a big state to have a whole week. So we'll see what goes on there. Because I know there's like smaller beer weeks. I know they just started a Western Mass Beer Week this year was one of the first times. And then there's North Shore Beer Week as per usual at some times. But that's always good stuff. I don't know did I miss any events, Carl? Is there anything going on in the next week or two in Maine, event wise?
Not a ton. We're basically in that little eye before the storm of Portland Beer Week is the first week of November. So right now,
yeah,
planning for all of that.
Nice.
which is awesome, and we're all looking forward to that this year. I haven't even started to wrap my head around what's going on with that week yet.
Yeah. I'm hoping it. Yeah, Sean and I, we should go up there.
They're going to be hosting
And,
a New Hampshire beer night, so.
Ooh.
There's also starting next week is Greater Bangor Beer Week. They decided to have their own week because they've got a lot going on in beer going on up there.
Do you know the
which is
dates on
pretty
that
cool.
by chance, or is it just next week?
16th through the 22nd is Greater Bangor Beer Week.
Okay, nice. Oh,
It's
and
put on by the Bangor Convention Visitors Bureau. So I assume there's a whole bunch of different events with that. Have not really caught up with that, but there is some info on Facebook if you want to check out what's going on. They're having some collaboration releases. They're having some tap takeovers, those types of things going on during that week.
nice.
I know that there's at least one collaboration with Nocturnum and Gagan's Brewing Company made a beer together. They're going to be releasing that at Nocturnum on next Tuesday.
Nice.
Not this Tuesday, but
Keep an eye out for Chatta.
yeah, there's a lot going on.
Chatta should be there.
Yeah,
So-
absolutely should be there.
I mean,
And then
October
October
yeah.
2nd is Oxbow's Goods from the Woods, which is a big deal up
man.
here. So
Yes.
if anybody's really into that, I can't go because I've got a conflict with something else again.
And
Every
that's-
time they do this event.
And that's way up north too, so it's a commitment, right? So you got to go all the way up to, was it Newcastle, Maine?
At Oxbow. So it's in the mid coast.
Yeah.
It's not as far as Bangor. I mean, it's closer than Bangor.
Right.
Oxbow proper is about an hour north of Portland.
Okay. Yeah.
So you go to Portland and then you drive like 50 more minutes.
And this is where they like place kegs out in the woods, and you kind of walk, like you just kind of walk in the woods and have some beer that's like randomly placed next to a tree. I never been to it, but that's what I hear. It's sort of like.
Yeah, it's basically you're really chilling out, kind of in nature, having like a good time. There's a lot of good food and art as well.
Sweet. October 22nd is also the Norm Day.
Ooh.
So the release of Wormtown Norm. Oh, what's up, Ben?
Hi.
Every day is Norm Day, but no. At Wormtown is the release of the coconut stout that you know and love as Norm, and that's down in Worcester, Mass. So if you guys can make it down there, as much as I want to, I might be missing it, but I'm going to try my best to get down there because it's a great place, and it's also near Armsby Abbey, which I mean, there's zero issue with any of those.
And
places.
in the same complex that they're in is a cupcake place. You get nice gourmet cupcakes.
See, we don't just talk about beer on this show. We get hot cupcake tips from Sean Jansen.
Brian, I looked it up. It's very difficult to find it on Google, but it's nhbrewfest.com.
Gotcha.
nhbrewfest.com. Don't try to Google all sorts of stuff. Just go to Red Hook's page, look on their calendar. It's the only way to find the link to it. So
Yes, awesome. And it's a great fest. I'm just I've had busy weekends, and this is the one weekend that's free for the rest of this year. So I'm like, I'll watch them outside my window, like it's happening over there. I can probably see it. But it's just it's a reset before mega other beer things, and then I want to be okay for somebody knows. BM Watts, what's going on? Well, anything big happening with you and beer this next week? I heard you went to a new place in Somersworth. Want to give it a quick shout out?
Yeah, no, I was going to mention that if anybody's been to Mambo in Portsmouth,
Mambo,
which has been there for as long as I can remember.
Yeah.
My Portsmouth memory. It's right on Strawberry Bank. Great restaurant. That owner opened up a restaurant here, or the town next to me in Somersworth, which almost timed perfectly with the closing of Levin, our old stomping ground there. They shuttered it up for some mysterious reasons. Not really sure what that was about, but at any rate, this is a new little gastropub, beer-centric gastropub in Somersworth. Went there the other night. They had a nice special beer and a brat. No, it was a Bad Lab and a brat for $10.
Nice.
Great. The food was delicious, as you would expect from Mambo, which is a very
what did you say the name of it's called?
It's called Pub 319. It's it's awesome. It's in an old train station in Somersworth. So,
This sounds stupid. Is 319 their address?
I don't know if it had to do with like the number of the stop on the train line from way back.
Okay.
In the day. But you can totally see how like the train would have stopped there. You would have just walked across the deck
That's
right
cool.
there and into the station. It's it's really a cool building.
That reminds me of a place I'm just making sure I know the name of. It's so you just experienced Mambo opening up a kind of a sister restaurant. A couple weeks ago, I had a chance to go to Eastern Burger Company, which is a sister restaurant from Sonny's in Dover. So Sonny's opened up their like own like small burger joint like a mile and a half from my house, and it is so good. And I'm not just saying that because I ate that burger after running 20 miles. I could have eaten that burger after running no miles and still say it was the best burger ever. So
Nice.
it's cool to have like these awesome places have other restaurants too, because it gives you a chance to taste good food like close to home, which is nice, and not be in Portsmouth traffic or Dover traffic. Sweet. Pub 319. Anything else, B?
No.
Cool. We are going to call it there, but is any other shout outs, Carla or Sean, before we shut her down?
No, I'll just say that I didn't get to mention it beforehand, but I went to the little Chili Fest in Newburyport over the weekend, and they had a bunch of craft breweries pouring at the Chili Fest, which was pretty cool.
Nice.
And then also went to Wim's Oktoberfest
Well, how was that?
Saturday. It was good.
Oh,
Yeah,
Nice.
it was very good. Saturday, obviously, I don't know if you remember, they do 2 days. The first day is Oktoberfest focus. Second day is the classic cars. Unfortunately, Sunday was not the greatest weather for classic
Yeah.
cars. So most of the activity
Yeah.
outside was on Saturday.
It's classic windshield wipers on
Exactly.
Sunday. Yeah, come on. Look at these.
Yeah.
Rain. Hey, wait, where'd he go? Yep, that's pretty much all I got for some killer jokes to end this show. So we're going to go out with that kind of bang. But for Ben, Carla, and Sean, I'm Brian, and thanks for listening. Tell a friend, sblpodcast.com, and let us know what you want us to talk about when there's nothing like GABF corruption going on. I'm kidding. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Corruption, really?